everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my O.W.L.s TBR for 2020. So if you don't know, the O.W.L.s is a magical read-along hosted every year by G over at Book Roast. I'll leave the information for all that down below because there's no point in me explaining it to you because I'm awful at explaining things. So I'll just let G do that. So yeah, if you follow the first link that you see down below, then that'll give you all the information about the read-along and how you can join. So in this read-along, we get to choose our own magical careers, and I have actually chosen to become an aura. I don't know how well you can see that, got a bit of a glare going on at the moment, but this is the career I have chosen, and for that career, I need to complete 5 O.W.L.s. But the thing is, I want to try and be ambitious this year, and I'm attempting to complete all 12 O.W.L.s. I know, crazy. But under the current circumstances that we're all going through at the minute, I myself am self-isolating for 12 weeks because I have a long-term respiratory condition. So for my safety, I'm staying away from everyone else basically. So I will have some time on my hands. So what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to list all the prompts on each book that will fulfill that prompt first, and then at the end obviously I'll show you which ones I'm going to read for my O.W.L.s to make sure I complete the prompts to become an aura. I think that's the easiest way to do it because then I can just go through everything and then just show you at the end so there's no confusion. So like I mentioned, we have 12 prompts, which is 12 books for me, and the first one is Ancient Runes Heart Rune. Read a book with a heart on the cover or in the title. And for this, I'm going to be reading Bring Me Their Hearts by Sarah Wolfe. Now, this has been on my TBR for ages, and that's sort of what I've tried to do with most of these books. Basically the ones that have been sat on my shelf, and now I have the opportunity to read them, so I'm trying to fit them in like that. This is also available on audiobook, so if I do get stuck, I can read it through Scribd, so that's really handy. I don't actually know much about this. You'll find this is a common theme throughout my videos. With me, all I need to hear is the synopsis the first time, and if I feel like I'll enjoy it, I'll purchase it. If I don't, then I won't bother. So a lot of these, I've basically just heard stuff about that one time and I've bought them, and then, as a lot of us do, never picked it up. Okay, so just quickly I'll try and give you a little summary so we know what's going on. It says, Zira is a heartless, the immortal, unaging soldier of a witch. Bound to the witch Nightsinger, Zira longs for freedom from the woods they hide in. With a heart in a jar under Nightsinger's control, she serves the witch unquestioningly. Until Nightsinger asks Zira for a prince's heart in exchange for her own, with one addendum. If she's discovered infiltrating the court, Nightsinger will destroy Zira's heart rather than see her tortured by the witch-hating nobles. Crown Prince Lucien de Mulvane hates the royal court as much as it loves him, every tutor too afraid to correct him and every girl jockeying for a place at his darkly handsome side. No one can challenge him until the arrival of Lady Zira. She's inelegant, smart-mouthed, carefree and out for his blood. The prince's honour has him quickly aiming for her throat. So begins a game of cat and mouse between a girl with nothing to lose and a boy who has it all. Winner takes the loser's heart. Literally. So yeah. That's that one. Sorry, I did not mean to read the whole synopsis, but I think it's better coming from here than it is from me trying to explain it to you when I actually don't have a clue. So I do have the list of prompts here, by the way, so if I'm glancing around or looking down at the screen, that's why, just so I get everything right for you. So the second prompt is Arithmancy, magical qualities of number 2, balance/opposites. Read something outside your favourite genre. So my favourite genre is normally fantasy or fantasy retellings, that sort of thing. Absolutely love that genre. I could read it all day, every day if I could, and I do mostly. But sticking with the retellings, even though that might be cheating, but I'm going to be reading Cursed for that prompt, and this is actually an anthology. With a few names listed here, so Neil Gaiman, Charlie Jane Anders, M.R. Carey, Christina Henry and many more, and it's edited by Marie O'Regan and Paul Kane. So I'm guessing these are just sort of retellings of stories that we know, and yeah, it says on the back, here you'll find unique twists on curses from fairy tale classics to brand new hexes of the modern world. Expect new monsters and mythologies as well as twists on well-loved fables. stories to shock and stories of warning, stories of monsters and stories of magic. Now, I don't tend to pick up anthologies. I've read a few, but to be honest, they can never really keep me interested. It sounds really bad, but I feel like I need a lot of information for a story. If I get like a couple of pages, it just doesn't stick to me, and for some reason I get really bored, which should really be the opposite, I guess, but that's me anyway. And I'm not sure if that's the case with this one, because there's a few stories. Yeah, there's quite a bit of stories in this, so we'll see. Hopefully I love it, which is obviously why I picked it up. I have a feeling I'd enjoy it, but yeah, once again, we'll see about that one. I guess that's the whole point of this prompt, so at least it's forcing me to pick up something maybe I wouldn't have picked up otherwise. The next prompt is Astronomy Night Classes. Read the majority of this book when it's dark outside. Now, this is a book I've been putting off literally since it came out, and I don't know why, but I guess it kind of falls in with the last prompt and what I just said. So before I say anything else, I'll just tell you the book, which is Ghosts of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Rees Brennan, Maureen Johnson, Kelly Link and Robin Wasserman. So, this is a collection of short stories based in the Shadowhunters world. Again, short stories, not a fan of, don't typically like. I haven't read the Bane Chronicles, but I absolutely love Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. So, I don't know, this could go one or two ways. I did enjoy Kit's story. I think this follows Kit and Ty from The Dark Artifices, that's the one. I think it revolves around them, but obviously, as with all Cassandra Clare novels and Shadowhunter books, there will be a bit of crossover, so I know it focuses on Brother Zachariah and stuff in this as well, which I do enjoy reading about, so yeah, we'll see. And obviously because it's short stories, I reckon I'll just read one or two stories each night or when I feel like it over the month, and hopefully I'll get through this pretty quickly. So the next prompt would definitely be my favourite one at Hogwarts, and that is Care of Magical Creatures. And for this one, it's Hippogriffs. Read a book with a beak on the cover. So for that one, I've gone with Stormcrow by Kaylin Josephson. Now, I bought this when it came out, and that was maybe a year ago now, I'm not quite sure. Really intrigued me, and this cover is absolutely beautiful. Obviously, it's got a bird on the cover there. Again, I can't quite remember what it was about, but oh my god. When I heard about it and when I saw this, I had to buy it. I mean, look at it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, I'll just read this quickly for you, just so, again, you know what's going on. So it says, in the tropical kingdom of Rodir, elemental crows are part of every aspect of life until the Aleutian Empire invades, destroying all the crows and bringing Rodir to its knees. That terrible night has thrown Princess Anthea into a deep depression. Her sister Kaliza is busy running the kingdom after their mother's death, but all Thea can do is think of everything she has lost, including her dream of becoming a crow rider. When Kaliza is forced to agree to a marriage between Thea and the Crown Prince of Eleusia, Thea is finally spurred into action, and after stumbling upon a hidden crow egg in the rubble of a rookery, she and her sister devise a dangerous plan to hatch the egg in secret while joining forces with the other conquered kingdoms to ignite a rebellion. So yeah, basically crow riders, a rebellion in a fantasy world. I reckon I will love it. So the next prompt is charms, and for that one it says Lumos Maxima, read a book with a white cover. This might be cheating a bit, but my edition is in white, and that is Winterwood by Shea Earnshaw. This is an Owl Crate exclusive edition, but I'm counting it because obviously it has a white cover. And again, look how beautiful it is. It's got blue sprayed edges and everything. Love it. From what I gather, this is a dark, atmospheric story set in some woods, I believe. And straight away, I'm sold on that. So again, I'll just read the back quickly, just so you know what's going on. The Walker women of Fir Haven have always lived in the woods. Some say the first Walker woman came from the forest, her bones built of roots and thorns as she sprouted up from the ground. This is where their legacy began, a strange and mythical legacy rooted in rumours and folklore. Over the years, there have been many tales of Walker women. Most have been lost, stories forgotten, fables and myths washed away with the spring rains. This story is one such tale. It was once scattered like autumn leaves buried in the soil, stitched there until it arose, until something stirred it loose, until the forest shuddered and opened its eyes. Oh, that just sounds amazing. And again, it's one I've been wanting to pick up for so long, but for some reason I just haven't. So when I saw the white cover prompt for the Owls, I knew I had to read this one. The next prompt is for Defense Against the Dark Arts. Again, probably one of the things that I'd want to study at Hogwarts. I feel like that would be so cool. But for that one, the prompt is Grindylows, a book set at the sea or the coast. Again, I've gone for an Owl Crate book that we recently got, which is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. Now, again, even though I only got this last month, I don't know too much about it. I know it's a story about a princess, a pirate, a stowaway, and some mermaids, I believe. And I guess that they all have to work together to reach their end goal. I've not read that many novels about mermaids. I think the only one I can think of is To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo, and I did really enjoy that. So hopefully this will live up to my expectations. Honestly, I have not stopped thinking about reading this book since I opened it in the Owl Crate. It's just been at the back of my mind, but I've been putting it off because I was doing work for university, this, that and the other. So now I literally have the perfect excuse to read it, and I feel like this is going to be my first read of the Owls Readathon. Right, so the next prompt, I'm thinking I probably should have filmed on camera with you guys, but I didn't because I just thought it would be a faff trying to sort it all out because I'm already late in filming this video, I'm not gonna lie. But I do have a TBR shelf now that's literally here. It's literally here. So that's where I did my random number generator for this prompt, and that is divination. For this one it says third eye, assign numbers to your TBR and use a random number generator to pick your read. So that's what I did, and I think it was between 1 and 139, and I actually got 136. And that book was actually The Changelings Journey by Christine Spores. Now, this I'm embarrassed that I've not read yet. As you can see, I don't know if you can see actually, I did start it. I took this book on holiday with me last year and literally got 51 pages through. Really enjoyed it, but for some reason I just didn't pick it up again. Shocker, really, I know. But yeah, I don't know why, so I am really glad that the number generator did pick this actually. So this is about a changeling going on a journey to try and change her life, I believe it is. Oh, but this sounds amazing. They have to make their way through vast magical forests, across kelpie-ridden lochs, and over seemingly endless mountain ranges. That's so cool! Despite the countless evenings spent listening to stories about adventures, fairies and magic, they find themselves out of their depth, fighting to stay alive. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. I don't know why I didn't carry on with this. It must have been towards the end of the holiday and we must have gone home and I just completely forgot about it. Which is bad, I know, but I'm finally getting around to it now. And again, can we just appreciate the cover of this because it's absolutely gorgeous. Also, I do believe this was self-published as well. I'm not quite sure, but I do love supporting authors that do self-publish because it's very difficult. And yeah, I will let you guys know what I think about this one. Next up is Herbology, and I have to have this in front of me because there's no way I can pronounce this properly. It says Mimbulus Mimbletonia, title that starts with an M. For this one, again, I'm embarrassed to have not read it yet because it's one that I've owned for quite a while, and that is Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. Now, it may sound ridiculous, but I absolutely love the Miss Marple and Poirot series that were up on, I think it was BBC 3 or something like that. If any of them are on at any point, I will always watch them. It doesn't matter if I watched it before, it's like I suddenly can't remember what's happened. Absolutely love it. And I recently did watch the movie for this, that was released last year, I think, with Daisy Ridley. Is Josh Gad in it? I think Josh Gad is in it, and Johnny Depp. And I absolutely loved it. But now I feel like it's the perfect time to read this classic. And look, it's just absolutely beautiful. And I think this is literally one of the only books that started with M. So, you know, it works. If you don't know anything about this book, it's basically what the title says. People are on the Orient Express train and there is a murder. And I don't think any of them are allowed to leave until we solve this murder. And I believe this is Poirot as well, it's not Miss Marple. Yeah. Hercule Poirot sat in the elegant restaurant car and amused himself by observing his fellow passengers. So yeah, can't wait to get into this one. So next we have History of Magic, and this one is Witch Hunts, book featuring witches or wizards. Now, I was going to reread Harry Potter for this one, but I thought it would be kind of a cop-out, and since I'm trying to get my TBR down in this time of isolation, I've chosen to read another book. The only problem is I've heard mixed things about it, and it's quite a long one. The book I've chosen for this prompt is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. Yeah, I was really excited for this book, and I think I pre-ordered it and everything. It arrived, and then a few weeks after it was released, there was some mixed reviews, people not quite liking it, people I follow that didn't quite enjoy it, and normally we do have similar reading tastes, so it's made me a bit scared to pick this up. And it's like 500 pages, so to read this and not enjoy it I feel like would be such a shame, especially putting all that time and effort into it. But I guess you don't know, my opinion could be completely different, which is why I thought this was the perfect time to pick it up. I can, you know, gather my own thoughts and see what this book is about. Now, I'll just read the back because this is all I know anyway, so it's not really changing much, I don't know. A witch and a witch hunter bound in holy matrimony. There was only one way such a story could end, a stake and a match. That's it. So I believe a witch was forced to marry a witch hunter, but the witch hunter doesn't know that she's a witch. And then stuff happens. I guess. I mean, I told you I'm awful at trying to give synopses because my brain just does not work. And again, I love going into stories not knowing anything about it, because normally if you read the synopsis there's quite a few things I would have preferred not to know going into the book, because some stuff, Crescent City, spoils it for you. So I tend to avoid the synopsis for that reason. It's quite a chunky book and hopefully I love it. If not, at least then I know I've tackled it and I can give it to someone else to read. So the next prompt is Muggle Studies, and that is to read a book from the perspective of a Muggle or a contemporary. So this one I was mulling over quite a bit because I don't really like contemporary stories, to be completely honest with you. I just don't like fluffy romance type books, and a lot of YA contemporary and adult contemporary actually does follow that. But at the minute I do have the one memory of Flora Banks for this one by Emily Barr. This was for the Zoella and Friends 2017 book club, so I had this book a while, and I think it was out even before this. Zoella only like put together her favourite YA books and that to try and get more people to read, which I thought was a really good thing. But I actually can't remember anything. The only thing I remember is that Flora for some reason wakes up one day and she can't remember anything, but the one thing that she remembers is kissing her best friend's boyfriend, I believe. So the back says, how do you know who to trust when you can't even trust yourself? Flora has amnesia, she can't remember anything day to day, the joke her friend made, the instructions her parents gave her, how old she is. Then she kisses someone she shouldn't, and the next day she remembers it. It's the first time she's remembered anything since she was 10, but the boy is gone. Okay, so not kissing her best friend's boyfriend then. Don't know where that came from. See, this is why I shouldn't tell you what I think a book is about, because it's completely wrong. So yeah, I don't know about this book because on the one hand it could be amazing, but I don't want it to, you know, take the mick or belittle people with amnesia, because obviously that's a horrible thing. If it's done properly, I think I will really enjoy it, but we'll have to see. Now, you'll be pleased to know we've come to the last two prompts. So, the next one is Potions, Shrinking Solutions to read a book under 150 pages. Now for this one, I've gone for Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. This might have been on my O.W.L.s TBR last year, I can't quite remember. So this is the Penguin English Library edition, and I absolutely love these covers. I really want to start collecting these. I just think they're so stunning. But this edition is actually 111 pages for Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and then we have Alice Through the Looking Glass, which I'm not going to read in this one. So yeah, this fits the prompt perfectly. It's got the old illustrations and everything, so I'm not missing out. Now, if you don't know what this is about, I'd be concerned, maybe. but I don't really know how to describe it properly. It's about a girl called Alice, and one day she finds herself in a completely strange world called Wonderland with a talking rabbit, the Queen of Hearts, a Mad Hatter, all the good stuff. And it's her journey in sort of finding who she is and her struggle dealing with all this nonsense. I definitely have read this before, but I've just recently rewatched the Disney animated classic, which is one of my favourites, and then the Disney live action remake, again one of my favourites, with Johnny Depp. So I'm really in the mood to pick this up, and again, with it being a shorter book, or it seems a shorter book at least, I'll hopefully fly through it. And then the last prompt is for Transfiguration. And I'll just check this. It says Animagus lecture, book or a series that includes shape-shifting. This is the one thing that I don't have to show you yet because, again, under the circumstances, I have ordered it through the post, but it does take a little longer to get here, which is fine. Everyone's dealing with stuff, I get it. It's no bother to me at all. If it doesn't arrive in time for this month, I can just download this book on my Kindle anyway, so it doesn't matter. But that one is, I think it's A Wizard of Earthsea, and it's the first book from Ursula Le Guin, and I can't remember what the series is called, the Earthsea series, I guess. Wow, I'm doing a good job. But basically, Ashley from the channel A Frolic Through Fiction, that's a tongue twister to say, my gosh. She's actually hosting a read-along for all of the books in this series, so we'll be reading one book each month. And for April, the book is A Wizard of Earthsea. I don't really know much about it. I've just sort of gone into it because me and Ashley do have similar reading tastes, and I have heard a lot about this series, so I'm excited to finally pick it up and have it be a nice little thing in the community as well. So that's why I've chosen that one. Yeah, couldn't really tell you anything about it because I'm going in blind, but again, that's how I want it, that's how I like it personally, so sorry about that. I have checked on the spreadsheet that G put up for recommendations, and A Wizard of Earthsea is on it for Transfiguration, so I'm counting that. And that is all the prompts done, thank God. So like I said at the beginning, I need to complete 5 prompts to become an aura. So the 5 prompts that I have to complete are for these books and A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin. So this is for Charms, Defense Against the Dark Arts, Herbology, Potions and Transfiguration. So they're the 5 books that I have to read in order to complete my OWLs and to complete the OWLs Readathon for 2020. And to be honest, they're probably all the ones that I do really want to read, so that is brilliant. If I don't get to the other books, it doesn't really matter. But obviously I will try to because I want to read them and this is the perfect excuse. And also there are little like side challenges? I don't know. There's different things that you can add to this. So say I'm doing Transfiguration, I think there's something regarding Transfiguration as an extra prompt, so you can read an extra book and then gain the extra knowledge for your career, if that makes sense. I don't think it does. But yeah, do please let me know down below if you're partaking in the OWLs this year, what you're reading, if you're an aura, what your career is, you know, anything. I just want to chat with you guys. I do plan on vlogging all of next month, so it'll be weekly vlogs where I do tackle all of these and the rest of the books. So if you would like to follow along with me on that journey, please don't forget to subscribe. It would absolutely mean the world to me, and yeah, I just can't wait to connect to more people throughout this readathon. I think it's such a good idea and I love that G always hosts it. It's just one little thing to brighten up this awful time in the world. So yeah, please do chat to me in the comments and let me know what you guys think. And then that is it from me today, guys. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye guys!